With this new update, we have somewhat of an ending to 99 Nights in the Forest with more to come. And my theory is that this new ending is actually them hinting at a brand new map. In the new cutscene, we see the deer stare at us from afar, reaching out his hand as if we're just outside of his grasp, like he's trying to reach for us, but he's failed in something. But he then turns away and crawls into what seems to be a bush leading to a hidden entrance into a cave. And in this cave, we see him tear off some metal bars and go into some kind of dark hole, looking back at the very last second right before going through. But what's important is that right after the cutscene, we get some text saying, "More story and an ending will be revealed soon. Stay tuned for future updates." Now, all of this may be a little confusing, but I'm gonna do my best to explain it. When the deer first sees us in the cutscene, when he stretches out his hand, this is most likely the canonical ending to the game, meaning that everything that happens after the first 99 nights isn't canon and is more so just playing for the sake of grinding. And looking at how he pulls his hand back and slowly moves away, it seems clear that the deer was trying insanely hard to get to us, but just couldn't do it, and so he gave up and is now going to do something else. And that's when he rips open the metal bars to get into some kind of dark location, looking over his shoulder just one last time, clearly showing that this dude's intelligent. Alright, this isn't any animal. This thing has maybe near human intelligence or greater, because with this kind of body language, there's no way he's just some rabid animal that wants to eat us, especially since he kidnapped the 4 children. And the reason I can say that we know it was him who did it is because if we look at each of the kids' posters, it shows us what happened. This kid was on a boardwalk, deer came up out of the water with his mouth open, grabbed the kid, put her into the cage, or the cave, which shows he's intelligent. I mean, he's springing traps on kids who are by the water, holding his breath, kidnapping them, putting them into a cage, everything. So this deer clearly had a plan, but it seems to have failed since we survived the 99 nights and got back all of the 4 children, which I'm assuming is part of the story. And he does go through this giant hole, but I don't think he's just going anywhere. I think the devs want us to go here, maybe in a future update, or at least to know about this location. Meaning that it's going to be a huge part of the story, and we shouldn't just brush it off as, oh, the deer left. Especially since the text right after it says that we'll be getting more story and an ending. But what really piques my interest is that the text says an ending, not the ending. Meaning they could be making an ending for the first map, while also making a second map to keep the game fresh. Because if the deer is going into a cave, and canonically in the story we're just left alone in the forest, there's not really an ending to that. It seems a little boring, honestly. But the story would be much more interesting if we were gonna go investigate the deer and follow him to see what he's doing, and honestly, what he even is. Now, for this next update, or second map possibly, I don't think we're gonna have to save more children, but I do think that we'll uncover a lot more about the deer, and even his worshippers, or better known as the cultists. And the reason this is important is because in the cultist stronghold, you're given the option to fight through waves of enemies, which eventually lead you to a room full of loot. And in this room, you get a red chest, which I'm about to get thorn armor out of. Okay, I'll take that. You get a bunch of diamonds, and you also get cultist experiments. There's also another one called Cultist Prototype, and since these don't look like very nice objects, they're gonna have a lot to do with the story, maybe even as much as the deer, which means that in future updates, we're gonna figure out a lot about the game's story, who these cultists are, and what the deer is. And honestly, I'm really excited for more story, because just that one cutscene was enough to make me excited and hyped for the next update. So overall, the new ending at the very least is showing that the deer ran away from us and couldn't get to us, but at the very most, it might be the devs teasing a brand new map that we'll be able to play soon, giving us more story about the deer. But let me know down in the comments what you think about all this. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video right here.